All right, so there's a lot to look into with this All 22 this week. So I'm not even going to do a intro. We're just going to jump right into it this week. And the main point I want to get home here is the Browns against the Chargers. Yes, there were bad calls, there were bad play calls, all of those things. But bad red zone execution and defensive miscommunications were really the difference in this game. I counted by the end of this game that the Browns gave up 21 free points off of just pure breakdowns on the defensive side when it came to that end of things. And then they left 11 points on the table just because of bad red zone execution in this game. And this is the first play to illustrate that. And what I want you to pay attention to is David Njoku. Now, David Njoku, he had himself a good game. This was not one of his better moments, though, in this game as he kind of messes up a protection here. We're going to see it get played out. Peoples-Jones comes into motion here, and you see Derwin James blows up this play. Now, Peoples-Jones is going to be open, but I want you to watch David Njoku, right? Him and Blake Hance next to each other. He has to kind of be aware that this guy's coming, right? This guy's coming. I should slide over, chip him at the very least, and then if I could chip him, I can come and help Blake out if he needs it. But something and someone should do something about this guy because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're literally here left on the line to worry about this extra blitzer right here. So that's David Njoku's job on this play. He does not execute it. Since he doesn't execute that, then the Chargers blow this play up, force a fumble, get the Browns behind the sticks when the Browns should have at least gotten a first down on this play, if not a touchdown. So, a drive that ends in 3 points should have probably ended in 7 because Peoples-Jones is right there. You can see that's a good path to at least a 3rd and short. Instead, it's a 3rd and 14. Bad execution in the red zone. And you can see here a better angle of Njoku just missing that block. Got to be better than that. Here on this play, this is a example of miscommunication. And for these miscommunications on defense, there were 3 big ones. I really had a hard time trying to decipher what's going to go, what happened on these plays. So forgive me if I'm trying to make sense of this, but I am just trying to make sense of this because some of this doesn't make any sense here. And we're going to let the play out here, and then we're going to react to it. But basically, this is the one where nobody goes to the flat. You see all that open space. Easy touchdown. Now, why did that happen, right? You see a key sign of miscommunication right here before this ball is even thrown to Eckler or whoever that is. I think that's Donald Parham, actually. But you see this little cluster, right? This little cluster of guys, 4 guys, 2 receivers, all that space. Yeah, somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be. Now, what happened on this play? Who blew this assignment? I think the popular decision would be, hey, Mack Wilson blew this assignment. Why? Because Mack Wilson does tend to blow a lot of assignments, but I don't think that's fair to Mack Wilson because I don't think he's the guy who blew this assignment. I want you to look at Ronnie Harrison, and I want you to look at Sione Takitaki because this play seems to be an even field play for the defense where you split the field and these sides are going to mirror each other. Now, Takitaki is the far side linebacker on this play, and the far side linebacker on this play is actually Ronnie Harrison on that side, right? So Ronnie should be mirroring whatever it is that Takitaki is doing. You're going to see that Taki worries about the flat here. He's going to watch the back. And Ronnie doesn't go here. He goes all the way up here. Mack Wilson actually does what he's supposed to do, which is worry about the seams here with the other linebacker, which brings him into the play. But Ronnie is the dude who should not have been here. He should have probably been here. And you're going to see this. Now watch how Sione Takitaki plays this. Oops, sorry about that. Watch how Takitaki plays it. See how Taki plays the flat like he's supposed to? And you see how nobody on the other side is playing the flat? I think that is where the problem lays in that play, right? Greedy's covering his man, so that's the responsibility he's supposed to have. Mac Wilson is worried about that seam. He's taking care of the seam. But why in the world is Ronnie Harrison right there? Right? Why is Ronnie Harrison right there? And I think the answer is because he's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be here on this line, kind of parallel to Taki to take away this, right? That should not have happened. This should not be a touchdown. They did not fool you. You fooled yourselves and gave up a touchdown. That's the first 7 of the free points that you gave up in this game. Now, we hear a lot about Odell being a decoy. One, I think in this offense, he is a decoy far, far too often. And I think it's starting to really affect the decision-making in a bad way when it comes to Odell and why he's not getting targeted. It's because in so many plays, the quarterback's told not to look even in his direction because he's a decoy, that it just becomes a habit. But this is not one of those plays where it's a bad decision to have Odell be the decoy, because he draws so much attention that he's going to get Rashard Higgins wide open here. It's pretty straightforward. But you're going to see Odell go into the end zone. Look, 2 guys follow him. Then, boom, you can hit Rashard Higgins. That's a good way to use him as a decoy, right? It's not always bad when you use him as a decoy. It's just sometimes you don't need to use him as a decoy. But that's a good way. All right, this is the second miscommunication play. And I'm going to be honest with you. This one and the next one that we're going to see here, not the next play, but the next time I say there's going to be another defensive miscommunication play that we're going to show, just puzzle me on what exactly is going on here. But, you know, this is who you want to watch, Grant Delpit. He's the one who blows this, in my opinion. From what I can tell, I think he's the culprit in this play here. And let's let it play out. Okay, so this is bad, right? This is already bad. This looks like cover 2, or maybe it's like a cover 6 or 3. I don't know. I can't tell because I have no idea why Grant Delpit's playing this with this technique. It's almost as if, and let me move this bar down so you can see a little better. It's almost as if he just did not know that Mike Williams existed, because he crosses his face and you see Grant is more worried about the underneath route. He's shadowing that underneath route instead of the dude who just ran by him. One, he should have probably been getting deeper on his drop a little earlier here if he was supposed to be the deep man, because there's no way you're leaving A.J. Green on an island like that. But again, it might be a cover 6 and A.J. Green's still supposed to cover that the whole field. And I think that's a bad decision. But yeah, whatever this is a disaster, right? I don't know whose responsibility is what. Again, it could be a cover 6 because, right, that's the only way that you would have A.J. Green follow. But I don't know why you would call that with A.J. Green in the game and not Denzel Ward. But yeah, either way, this I don't get. Even if that was the play call, help the guy out because he's clearly barbecue chicken at this point, right? By the time he gets to Grant's face, Grant, he's beat. Follow him. Be athletic. Don't let this dude just run open and score a touchdown. Again, that's point number 13, because they missed the extra point on this one. So 13 points you gave up because of just miscommunication in blown coverages. All right, red zone execution failure number 2 is how you leave 11 points on the board. You know what play this is. Watch Odell. He's going to be running underneath. It's wide open. Baker gets it there on time. Odell just drops it. That's a touchdown, by the way. For Odell Beckham, he catches that in stride. He's probably in for a touchdown. Instead, it's a drop on 4th and 2, and you don't get any points. So it's 3 Well, 4 points you missed out on because you had to kick the field goal instead of score. And then that's 7 there. That's 11 points there left on the board because of poor execution. Just flat, poor execution in the red zone there. That's already the difference in the game. I mean, we haven't even factored in the 13 points the defense gave up because of horrid execution. But, add those points up, and you're starting to see how this game not necessarily got away from the Browns because they didn't get blown out, but how this game fell out the grasp of the Cleveland Browns' hands. All right, so if you want to know how Odell and Baker can go to the next level, this is what I mean by chemistry can take them to the next level in understanding each other. I've watched Odell enough on tape now to know that whenever there's a scramble drill, Odell kind of likes to stop, stutter, and then go downfield, right? That's his biggest move, right? He's going to stop, stutter, act like he's reacting to the quarterback, and then go downfield. That's what he likes to do. It's a move that does work, and it has worked for him before. But Baker, he's not used to that. So he doesn't try those as often as he should. But I think there's a lot of times that he should, and they should try it at least once or twice, because these are big plays that could be created out of nothing here that could take this offense to the next level here. Because you're going to see here, there's going to be another kind of broken play. They move the pocket. All right, scramble drill, right? Now you're going to see Odell do exactly what I said he does, right? This little stop. Right, he stops up top, realizes it's a scramble drill. I'm going to go upfield. That's kind of what his move is. If you're Baker and you know Odell does that, and you know you only got a single high safety right now, plant your feet. He's on the other hash, right? This safety's on the other hash. Plant your feet. He's here. So if you put a ball here to here, this guy ain't going to get to it, and this dude's barbecue chicken. He's beat. Odell's going to beat him over top. You can make that play, and even if you don't, it's not going to be an interception. These are risks that you can take that can bring this team to the next level, and you can take advantage of what you have with Odell. This is stuff the Kansas City Chiefs do. This is stuff Lamar Jackson does with Hollywood Brown all the time. This is stuff that those next level offenses do all the time, because this is what can take you there, right? There is nothing here. Nothing here. Like maybe you can fit something here, but that's real dangerous. That safety on that hash. You don't really have anything here because this window's not really as close. This window's not there. And then, so you don't really have anything, but Odell's going to do that stop and go. If you know that, you can beat him on that. Throw that ball over top before that guy gets his head around, and then all of a sudden you got a big play there that could turn into a touchdown. Now, I'm not going to say that's a missed opportunity when it comes to points that I'm counting, but I'm saying that's something that you can add to your arsenal as an offense that can take you to that next level, and that's what I would like to see. That's why this combination of guys, Odell and Baker, could be so dominant and be so special, because, again, Baker has the arm strength to do that, and Odell has the know-how to be able to make that play. So that's the stuff that I want to see happen between these two. Okay, guys. Now this play, this is the one that stumped me. It is so bad, I can't really explain what happened here. All I can tell you is why I think this was so bad. So we're going to let it play out, and then I'm going to try to show you why I feel like it was so bad. This is another touchdown play. That's how you give up your 21st point that you shouldn't have. Wide open, right? Now, maybe your first thought is maybe the Chargers did something to throw the Browns off, and it was a great play call. Nah. I mean, they did this little action here where they moved the pocket with Herbert, and it does, suck the defense out that way, or at least the line. But it doesn't really take all the secondary, with it, right? These guys in the back end, they're not biting. But if you notice here, it looks like a Madden glitch, to be honest with you. You have A.J. Green and John Johnson, these two guys, covering this section of the field when nobody's there. I kid you not. Watch. I'm going to play it again. These dudes are covering that entire section of field when nobody is there. So that's a problem, right? You probably shouldn't have those two guys covering that much empty space. Okay, so again, blown coverage, obviously. So that's obvious there. Ronnie Harrison, was he underneath? Was this a cover one? Like, this is what I don't get about this play. Ronnie goes under as if this is like a cover one thief or however, whatever terminology you use, right? Just a cover one with the safety underneath, right? He goes underneath like that's the call. But then John Johnson plays strictly on that seam as if this is cover two. And then AJ Green drops back, straight back into that zone as if this is cover six. I swear to God, if you do this, if you go 1, 2, 3, they are running 3 different coverages on one play. And I don't think that was how that was supposed to be. Because you got a cover 6 here, you got a cover 2 here, and then you got a cover 1 under here. They're running all the covers right now. And I have not seen miscommunication that drastic ever in my life in an NFL football game. That is, wow. I mean, just look at that. It's like watching a Madden glitch. You know what I mean? Like, they got to fix the deep blues or something, because these two dudes covering absolutely nothing, as if there is something there. They have to see there's nothing there. There is not a single soul between John Johnson and where his eyes are and the 35-yard line. That is 15 yards of nothing in front of him. AJ Green gets out here and he just points at the guy. Not like he can do anything on this play, but he just points at the guy. And Ronnie is out here double bracketing this underneath route. Like, it's really weird that for 2 plays in a row, the Cleveland Browns defense just forgot Mike Williams was out there. Like, did he have the invisible cloak? Because it's the only thing that explains why this was played like this. It makes no sense. I can't make sense of it. I really can't. I tried my best to make sense of it, but I can't. This makes no sense. And that's 21 points that the defense gave up because they're horrendously not on the same page in this game. All right, so this is that final drive, and I'm going to try to be fair to Kevin Stefanski and be fair to Baker and try to even out this blame game equally here. The thing I don't like about whatever the play call was or whatever Baker did on this play, because it could be the play call, it could be Baker, it can be both. You see Odell here is on tight one-on-one coverage. I don't care what's going on the rest of here. Unless somebody is not there and you got a wide open dude, I don't care what's going on there. You have Odell one-on-one, tight coverage at the end of the game when you need a deep chunk. Ball should be going here, or at least eyes should be going here first. But instead, eyes are on the trip side. Now, that makes sense, right? Because there's 3 wide receivers here. I would just love to make the adjustment that, hey, if you get Odell one-on-one right here, just peek at it first, Baker. You know what I mean? You don't have to stay on him, but peek at it. See if it's something you like there. Know what's going, because Odell's running a comeback. On tight one-on-one coverage, that should be easily get that ball to Odell real quick. But the eyes just never go there. And I don't know if that's because Odell's supposed to be a decoy on this play, or if Baker's not supposed to look that way, or if Baker just didn't get his head around to it. But either way, you see that kind of tight coverage on Odell, that means that you should probably, peek at him and see if he's going to be able to make a play. Because, again, he's your best playmaker. But instead, they don't. Odell gets upfield. He's open there at the 35. Now, you end up throwing this ball to Rashard Higgins. He gets 5 yards there. You could have probably got more with Odell because, look, he's by himself. And Odell's a really great athlete, right? He catches that ball there right when he turns. He might be able to make a play on 42. Nobody's near him on that side of the field. Maybe he gets a big chunk out of that. He's a big playmaker. In these kind of situations, you see him one-on-one tight, I think that should be your first read. Just peek at it first and see if he wins off the line of scrimmage. If he does, give him the ball. Give him the ball, let him make a play. Instead of going with that, to Rashard Higgins. That's either a play calling thing, a Baker thing, or both. And I think it's probably both, right? I think it's a consequence of always having Odell be the decoy that mentally he's not even in Baker's progressions right now. This is another one, right, where I can understand the decision that Baker made here or why the ball came out this quick. Again, I think some of this is just not trusting the offensive line. But, they're going to throw this angle route to Kareem Hunt. And he beats his man. And against most guys, right, and against most teams, this is a good decision because that's usually a linebacker. And Kareem's usually going to be faster than him. And Kareem's usually going to probably get to about the 50-yard line on that kind of a play here, right? Because Kareem's that dynamic of a guy. But you got to know the personnel you're going against. That's not a linebacker when you're playing the Chargers. That's Derwin James. And Derwin James is going to crash down on that play, and you're only going to get like 3 yards. Again, I don't love that decision here, especially when you can argue that, if you push this ball and be a little bit more aggressive with it, you could hit Rashard Higgins right here in that window, right? Because he's going to start sneaking out because Tranquill's back's turned. He's watching Kareem Hunt. And there's a little window right here that I know Baker can hit to Rashard Higgins because he does it all the time. That, if you're being a little bit more aggressive with your eyes as a quarterback and, with the play call, you can hit Rashard Higgins right there. And again, get a nice little chunk. Get down the field. Now you're real close to field goal range. Now you're able to make things happen. But again, you're not being aggressive there. I get the play call. I get the decision against almost any other team. But when you have a team that starts Derwin James, and Derwin James has been a menace this entire game, it's not a great decision in my eyes. There's more, but I'm not going to drag you guys through all of it. That's just a little taste of what I saw when I looked at this film this week. But yeah, man, the moral of the story is when you give up 21 to 23 points on defense and you leave 11 on the board, well, that's 32 points that you left out there as a team because of poor execution. And that's how you turned what should have been a blowout win into a loss on the road. The good news is that the Browns are literally such a talented team, such a good team, that they can have a performance where they allow 21 points to just happen because of miscommunication, and they leave 11 on the board, and they still only lose by 5. That's the good news. That tells you that this team, if they get to where they need to get to, it's going to be unstoppable. But the bad news is that you gave up 21 free points, and you left 11 on the table because of poor execution, and you lost the football game. So the execution needs to get – we could complain about the calls. We can complain about the play calls, and those are all valid things to do. But the execution on the field at the end of the day just needs to get better. It's not executing at the level that these guys are capable of, and it's mainly because of mental mistakes, and that's really what needs to change. Once that changes, I think a lot of things will get better with this team. But as of right now, they're getting in their own way far too often. But that's it for this breakdown. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day and have a good night.